Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and our next guest comes loaded to bear with bear or whatever it is. Stanley of FNB Productions. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Tell us about your business.
Okay. Well, I have a studio in Wellesley Center in Massachusetts, and I do portraiture, and I also network with different modeling agencies. I've networked with, for example, Boston Casting, Model Club, and currently I'm on exhibit over in the Strand Theater. We did a show there through my art rep, and it will be there. It was an exhibition put together for Mayor Walsh, and my art rep, Suzanne Schultz of Canvas Fine Arts, set up the show, and we will be there till the end of July. It's original art, fine art, photography. I do black and white for things like that. I do it on like gallery paper, acid-free, and typically 13 by 19 prints.
Wow, I'm looking at your cameras, and they're kind of relics. They're not digital, and that one is the black and white is digital.
Yes.
But the color one, the Nikon, that's an old Nikon film camera,
F2,
correct?
yes.
Who's there's not even a lot of places to develop film anymore properly. Do you do it by yourself?
Film has made a huge comeback with the pros who have turned away from digital, which it kind of locks you in on a corporate level, and also a lot of the mirrorless cameras, for example, are just not good at things like social documentary or photojournalism because they go to sleep on you. They can't, like a pro, you got to think of it like a vet, like somebody who's been in, Vietnam or World War II vet. These guys, they were given rifles, and when they pull that trigger, they want that thing to fire. And
Right.
it's the same thing with the film camera. When you hit that shutter, it's going to fire. Whereas a lot of the new cameras, they freeze up, they go to sleep, and then you wait, you take a picture. You'd be surprised that an F2 is faster than, for example, a Sony mirrorless like the Fuji 100.
Right.
So, it depends on what you're shooting.
And can you see a difference in the quality?
Film has its own look.
Right.
So what I do is I load my own film. I have a bulk loader. I develop it myself, which would cost
You're a
me...
traditionalist.
Yes. I'm a purist going back to when I was a kid. And I used to do my own darkroom prints. Now I do both. I do darkroom as well as digital. I scan the film. And then here I have the dedicated Leica monochrome black and white camera. So, digital there's room for both.
Tell us a little bit about your history, how you got into this as a business.
Well, I've worked in, I'm a multimedia artist, so I've worked in news and fashion photography. I made a film documentary on the Boston music scene, which was shown on Japanese television in the 90s. And then I produced a number of fine art postcards. My art photographs have been featured in East Coast galleries here in New England. I've exhibited at the Cambridge Multicultural Arts Center, Light Sources Gallery in Boston, Blix in Waltham, the Belcourt Castle exhibit, one-man show. I did 42 prints for that, made the cover of the Newport paper in Rhode Island, and I've done shows at Arnold, advertising Arnold Worldwide in downtown Boston, the Dedham Historical Society. So I've been pretty active, and I also made the shoot list for Vogue magazine. I was staff photographer for the Stoughton Chronicle, as well as the Dedham Times, and contributed heavily to the Boston Herald. So I've always had a studio because, in the fashion work, I would sometimes set up in other agencies, spaces, but they would not have the facility or the equipment, so I'd have to carry things in, and so it's always easier, like you guys, to have a location, to have people come to you, which is what kind of created FNB Productions. We're multimedia. I'm a musician as well. I have a rock band called Metal Pistol. I brought you a CD. Actually, I gave it to Steve outside, and maybe he'll share the music. So I was agency photographer for many years for Irons International, and I worked with its founder, Diane Irons, who's the author of several international best-selling beauty books, and she's appeared on The View over a dozen times with Barbara Walters. They did the TV show People Are Talking here in Boston with Tom Bergeron.
Right.
I was on that many times. And my original art prints sold on television at auction, on the WGBH auction. And then on the show People Are Talking, Tom Bergeron would sometimes show my stuff.
Steve, if someone wants to find you at FNB Productions, how would they do that?
I have a website, an email contact. My website is www.fnbproductions.com, and my email is stephen.fnbproductions@gmail.com.